Good morning, everyone. This hearing of the Subcommittee on International Development and Foreign Assistance on the International Deforestation and Climate Change hearing is now in order. Let me welcome our panelists. We appreciate you being here. I'll introduce you formally in a moment. Let me wish everybody a happy Earth Day. It's an appropriate day to be having this hearing. And I'll start off with an opening statement, and we'll recognize other members as they come. Let me thank Chairman Biden and Ranking Member Lugar for their continued strong leadership on climate change. Recently, they sent a letter to committee members reaffirming the committee's commitment to closely monitor international climate change negotiations and ensure that the Senate is intimately involved in this process. They also indicated that this subcommittee would play a key role in holding hearings and building a record so that the Senate is ready to ratify a multilateral climate treaty within the next 2 years. There is little doubt that addressing deforestation and degradation would be a critical part of any post-Kyoto climate treaty, and I think it is fitting that we are holding this hearing on Earth Day. 38 years ago today, the first Earth Day was observed. It has become a day to spark awareness and a day to remember the vast gifts this planet has given us. This global perspective is essential if we hope to solve our planet's climate crisis. In negotiating the post-Kyoto Treaty, we must all be cognizant of the challenges and opportunities different countries face in lowering their greenhouse gas emissions. There is no doubt that we must all protect U.S. interests, but our planet is in peril, and we're all going to have to work together to fix it. But what does working together look like in the context of a multilateral climate treaty? In my mind, it means at least 3 essential things. First, working together means the United States must be respectful of the fact that different countries face different circumstances, and therefore we cannot expect every country to commit to the same constraints on carbon that we do. Second, we must be prepared to help developing nations create the capacity needed to reduce their emissions and grow along a greener and clearer path. And third, we must hold every nation, including major emitting developing nations, accountable for implementing strong policies that will result in emissions reductions. Only through such a cooperative framework will we successfully negotiate a treaty that achieves the emissions reductions we need, but is able to be signed and ratified by developed and developing countries alike. Efforts to slow the rates of deforestation and degradation of tropical rainforests could prove to be the critical linchpin in this cooperative process. As Ambassador Eisenstadt will explore in more detail in his testimony, avoided deforestation was not covered by the Kyoto Treaty. Deforestation was not addressed in part because there was a real distrust in the capacity of forested nations to effectively enforce policies designed to protect tropical rainforests. This distrust was not unfounded. In 1990, there was an international effort to provide $1.5 billion to help Brazil reduce deforestation, yet from 1990 to 2004, the rate of deforestation doubled. Another reason Kyoto did not give credit for avoided deforestation was because it was nearly impossible at the time to monitor rates of deforestation. Fast forward to Bali, Indonesia. Avoided deforestation of tropical rainforests has become a major part of the framework for a post-Kyoto climate treaty. So what's changed? One thing that's changed is technology. As Dr. Gurney will testify, satellite technology has now advanced to the point where rates of deforestation can be measured more accurately and more quickly. However, this is an evolving field, and we need to be careful that our policy mechanisms do not get out in front of the technology needed to implement them. The world is also more committed to stopping deforestation because we have a fuller understanding of just how critical rainforests are to regulate the climate. We now understand that rainforest destruction accounts for 20% of global greenhouse gas emissions, and that the world's forests contain 50% more carbon than the entire atmosphere. Another reason attitudes have changed about including avoided deforestation in a climate treaty is the sense of opportunity. Billions of dollars are now flowing to help developing nations clean up their energy infrastructures in order to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. As Mr. Forrester will testify in more detail, developing nations with rainforests are now asking why they can't enjoy the same sort of financial support to reduce rates of deforestation. Simultaneously, many companies in developed nations are looking for ways to lower future compliance costs under a carbon-constrained economy. Tropical rainforest protection is seen as one of the cheapest ways to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So perhaps market-based mechanisms where companies can gain carbon credits for investing in avoided deforestation projects could be part of a solution to our climate crisis. That said, there are many obstacles to creating a market-based forest protection system that will work. On Saturday, the New York Times had a piece that described quite well how difficult it has been for Brazil to protect large swaths of rainforests even when they commit tens of millions of dollars and hundreds of officials to the endeavor. Mr. Hayes will discuss some of these challenges in his testimony, including the challenge of leakage. If we allow companies to invest in an avoided deforestation project in a particular region, what prevents loggers from just moving to another section of the forest? The answer has to be that baselines of deforestation must be made for any country that hosts international deforestation projects, and that these nations and the holders of credits from projects in these nations must be held accountable for results. A market in carbon credits is only as strong as the market's confidence that the credits actually correspond to real carbon reductions. Finally, while these rainforests may be located within the boundaries of a given country, the consequences of their destruction is global. I look forward to hearing from the distinguished panel on all of these topics, and I hope we can all develop a deeper understanding of what must be done to protect the world's rainforests and what must be done to protect all of us from the destructive consequences of climate change. And with that, I'm pleased to recognize the distinguished ranking member of the full committee, Senator Lugar.